Welcome to Business Law Lectures. The first chapter, the Indian Contract Act 1872. Especially these lectures are helpful for all the categories of people who are doing their graduation, post-graduation, RCA, IPCC. For all of them, I am going to give a brief lecture on Indian Contract Act 1872. Before going to understand the Indian Contract Act, you have to understand certain names, certain terms under Indian Contract Act. See, for every concept, for every topic, you have to understand the fundamentals first, then it is very easy to remember the concept well. So in this lecture, now we are discussing about the certain most important terms under Indian Contract Act 1872. Basically, Indian Contract Act is also like other countries' contract acts. All are similar because the transactions are similar in between the parties. So if you understand Indian Contract Act, you can able to understand the other countries' contract act and business laws also. But similar differences are there, and most of the times we are discussing all the cases from English law only. Okay, so more similarities are there. Now the first aspect here is proposal. What is the meaning of proposal here? A proposal is something one person signifies to other, his willingness to do or to abstain from doing something. See, one person, because it is in between the persons, it is a contract, it is a transaction in between the persons. One person signifies to other his willingness to do or to abstain from doing anything or something. See, these are the terms. For example, person A and person B are there. Person A saying means signifying that, saying that he want to sell his bike, he want to sell his car. So it is a person signifies his willingness to do. Here he is doing. To do means he is selling the car. Okay, this is a proposal. A is making a proposal to B, I want to sell my car. It is a normal proposal, but here it is also called as offer under section 2A of Indian Contract Act 1872. These are the section numbers. Okay, when a person signifies to other his willingness to do or to abstain from doing something. Abstain means, for example, Mr. A is signifying that I am not interested to sell car. I am not. Okay, otherwise he is saying that I don't want to do anything. So to do or to abstain something, I want to start a business is my proposal. My proposal is the same. I don't want to start a business. You go ahead and start the business there. I don't want to sell my car to Mr. B. I am saying to Mr. C, I don't want to sell the car. You go and sell to B. So I am saying my willingness, signifying my willingness to abstain something. It's a negative. Okay. And here the most important aspects you have to understand, with a view to obtaining the assent. With a view to obtaining here the mindset of Mr. A is just for getting assent, acceptance from B. Just I am not saying simply or jokefully. I am not saying or just joking there. I am just signifying my willingness, a proper word, signifying, confirming my willingness to sell my car. It's not a joke, it's a serious thing. So my intention is he must assent it. He is going to accept it or reject it, whatever it may be. The assent may be accepted by B or accepted by B or rejected by B. But the only thing is, my intention is with a view to obtaining the assent of that either to such act or abstains. Okay. He is said to be make a proposal that is offer. The person who is making offer is offerer. Okay. Hope you understand. Let's move to second concept. So again, promise. So here promise again under section 2(1), subsection 1. Here the promise means when the person to whom the proposal is made. In this previous example, A made a proposal to B, right? When a person to whom the proposal is made, he is signifies his assent. Okay, I want to buy. Okay, I don't want to buy. Okay, this assent is given by whom? B. So it is nothing but a promise. The proposal is said to be accepted, then it becomes a promise. In between these parties, he said, I want to sell a car. He said, okay, I will buy your car. So there is a promise in between the parties. Promise is in between the parties, not I made a promise. So that is not correct. You made a promise, but it is accepted by someone else. You made a proposal, but it is accepted by someone else, then only it is called as a promise. A set of a combination of offer and acceptance is a promise. The proposal is said to be accepted. Proposal when accepted, it becomes a promise. Whenever the proposal accepted, then it becomes a promise. Hope you understand. Promise means promise may offer and acceptance. Acceptance, both are there. Okay. Next, agreement. Under section 2(e), under section 2 subsection E, the Indian Contract Act 1872 defined agreement. So here agreement means, again some broader sense, it is above the promise. Every promise and every set of promises forming consideration for each other is an agreement. So now A made an offer, I want to sell my car, B accepted, then it become a combination of these two, it become a promise, right? Hope you understand. Promise. These type of promise, every set of promises, if it is forming some sort of consideration means benefit in terms of money for me, for each other, for each of them, then it is called as an agreement. So agreement includes consideration, promise includes offer and acceptance, right? So here agreement under section 2(e), every promise and every set of promises forming consideration for each other. So here what is the consideration? Whenever he is selling the car, he get the money, right? He will get the money, A will get the money. Okay, and what happened? B will get his car, new car. He lose the money and he'll get the car. It is his consideration and this is his consideration. Both the parties are getting consideration in this example. So it is purely a agreement. Now agreement, next definition is contract. Now our chapter, our basic concept. Section 2(h), an agreement enforceable by law. Okay, this whatever you are making an agreement, whatever you are making a promise, that must be accepted by law, that must be enforceable by law. If law is not accepted to do so, then it will not treated as a contract. So you understand, right? Till this point, A given offer, B accepted, then it become a promise. Now promise, if we add consideration to the promise, it become agreement. Then agreement, if it is accepted by, enforceable by law, then it become a contract. You understand? Hope you understand. I am moving to the next concept. One more important term, that is promisor and promisee. It's defined under section 2C1 of Indian Contract Act 1872. When a proposal is accepted, the person making the proposal is called a promisor. The person who is accepting the proposal is called as promisee. The person who is making is a promisor, okay, and the person who is accepting it, promisee. In the previous example, we have A wants to sell his car to B certain price. So here Mr. A is promisor, he is making the proposal, okay, and it is accepting by the promisee, that is B, and the contract is in between these two parties for a certain consideration. The certain consideration is maybe in terms of money or maybe in terms of non-monetary transactions also. Sometimes I'll explain you in the later concepts in consideration. So consideration defined under section 2D, when at the desire of the promisor, the promisee has done or abstained from doing something, okay, then he is getting some sort of consideration. He is doing this for something. The something is his benefit, okay, and this is called as a consideration, okay. He is doing something, right, or he is not doing something. For not doing something, for not doing that particular thing, he is getting some sort of consideration. For doing something, he is getting some sort of consideration. So because these two parties are accepted and proposal accepted and they made a promise, okay, A wants to sell his car to B, B accepted to buy it, so he is getting some sort of consideration, he is also getting some sort of consideration. And C enter into a contract with A, I don't want to sell my car, okay, no issue, I will sell to B. So this is also, he is also getting some sort of consideration, he is also getting some sort of consideration. You understand, right? Yeah, again we have to understand what is void agreement. It is void, okay. This is a void agreement. It is not enforceable from very beginning. From very beginning it is not enforceable, okay. Such contracts are there. I will give you a lot of examples in the next coming topic. At here itself, when entering into a contract, whenever you are entering into a agreement, for example, I am making an agreement with B, A is making an agreement with B, okay, to kill S, to kill S. It's killing is illegal thing, so it is a void ab initio from the beginning. When you are entering into a contract with minor, it's a void ab initio. It's not enforceable from the beginning, okay. Next, voidable contract. It is very simple. An agreement is voidable contract if it is enforceable by law at option of one or more parties thereto. It is not enforceable by law at the option of other or others. It is enforceable by law at the option of one, and it is not enforceable by law the option of other. So A is accepted everything and B is waiting, is not yet accepted, so it is a voidable contract. If it is subject to some it's changed to subject to some sort of adjustments, then if it is accepted by B and A, then it become a contract, agreement and contract, okay. So it is an agreement. Initially they accepted, but what happens, some subject to terms and conditions, B is waiting to reject or accept it. So simply speaking, a contract which can be set aside, that is terminated or avoided at the option of the aggrieved parties is a voidable contract. Until the contract is reputed, means subject to some terms and conditions, we have to change. It remains the valid contract. If you change some certain conditions, and it will be valid. So here we are talking about section 64 of Indian Contract Act. So some parties are feeling that they are thinking that there may be a loss, there may be a not much benefit for them. So they are waiting for the benefit. If they got the benefit, and they are ready to obligate the terms and conditions, they are ready to obligate the other party. So the benefit is most important here. If he is not getting benefited, he can stop it. Okay. Basically we are talking each and every party must have a freedom to enter into a contract, and they have freedom to accept or reject it. Okay. Meaning of certain terms again, that is void contract. So contract is void. In the previous example we discussed about void agreement, but it is void contract, but it was agreement previously. That is section 2J, a contract which ceases to be enforceable by law. Okay, a contract which when entered into was a valid contract, but subsequently it become void due to impossibility of performance or change in the circumstances, right? It is termed as a void contract. See, A and B are agreed to enter into a contract. Okay, but what happened at the time of execution part by B? It is not possible to continue the contract. See, they enter offer, accepted, then it become promise. So obviously it is an agreement. When come to enforceability by under law, then it is not possible to enforceable by B because of so many terms, so many conditions. Okay, it become impossible. So it become a agreement actually it is, but it is a void contract. Again I am giving you a proper definition according to the law of 1872 contract law. Definition of contract: an agreement enforceable by law is a contract. An agreement which is enforceable by law. Agreement must be, offer and acceptance, right? Agreement must have offer and acceptance. Okay, these must be an agreement, and this agreement must be enforceable by law, then only it is called as a contract. So basically we can see the mathematical equation here. Contract is equal to agreement plus enforceable by law. So agreement, again you have a offer acceptance. So basically here you please understand, this is a most important quoted one under this Contract Act. All the contracts are agreements, right? All the contracts are agreement. Whenever you are calling it as a contract, it is definitely, it must be an agreement, right? It must be an agreement because only agreements become contract. It must be an agreement. But all agreements are not contracts, but all agreements are not contracts. All agreements are not contracts. Why? Because only the contracts, only the agreements which are enforceable by law, then only we can call them as contracts. So basically this is most important. Once again I am reading, all the contracts are agreements. Obviously correct, because each and every agreement, each and every contract is previously that was a agreement. So all the contracts are agreements, but all agreements are not contracts. Only few agreements are becoming the contract which are enforceable by law. Now the most important aspect here we are going to understand is essential elements of a valid contract. The contract is valid when, if it is satisfied all these following elements or conditions. So valid contract is a real contract. It is acceptable by law and it is having agreement, proposal, promise offer, acceptance, everything there. When it would be, whenever it satisfies these conditions. What agreements are contracts? So these, if we have following conditions, then only each and every agreement become a contract. See, my dear students, all are keywords here. It is starting with A, alphabet A, 1, first point. It is 2, number 2, TO2 and TWO2, second point. Third point, alphabet 3, and fourth point, alphabet 3. Okay, 2 3s, and fourth point is alphabet D, F5, 5. Okay, all the 6 points are over. Seventh point, L, 7. Okay, if you reverse it, 7. And 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 letters are there here in red color, so it is the 8th point. Okay, and it's a P, actually it's a 9.9, it's a P. Okay, so like that, for easy memorizing I given like this. So each and every point is important. Now I am explaining you each and every point, and you can write all the 9 points in the exam and add whatever I am using, the sentences you add to this each side heading point, then you can score 10 by 10 if you got this question in the examination. What are the elements of the contract? Okay, essential elements. What agreements are contract? If a contract must have an agreement between two parties, so there must be two parties, okay, for every agreement, and there must be an agreement between the parties. Definitely two parties, and they must have an agreement, then only it is considered as a contract. See, if you are making a contract with you, then it is only single party, it is not at all a contract. Am I right? So it is two or more parties. Actually we can call it as a offer acceptance, two parties, a group of parties or two parties. Okay, agreement between two parties is essential to make a contract. And these parties must have intention. Their intention is a legal relationship. The intention in between the parties must create a legal relationship. If the legal relationship is, one party is, we already know it's an offerer, okay, offerer, and another party is offeree. These are the legal relationships. One person making a contract, making a proposal, he is making a proposal, Mr. A, and Mr. B is accepted it, then only it become a promise, and they must have an intention to create a legal relationship. If there is no legal relationship in between the parties, definitely it may not be treated as a contract. It must be legal and it is acceptable by law as per the conditions of the Contract Act. What are the conditions? Again, we are going to learn each and every one step by step. And there must be a consideration. The consideration must be lawful. Okay, it's a lawful, again it is depends again. For example, in general, Mr. Yugendhar wants to give divorce to his wife, okay, and his wife is asking a certain amount of 25 lakhs. So this is a consideration. Now he is giving the divorce, mutually agreed and to take the divorce, and 25 lakhs is a consideration. And in the same manner, Mr. Yugendhar relieved from the relationship, right? It is his consideration and she is getting a compensation for that, okay, right? Because I am escaping from harassment, right? So that is the reason, that is my consideration, and as well as she is getting a sort of amount that is her benefit. So because she is not going to be enjoy the harassment while she is doing, just I am giving the joke here, please understand. Okay, that is the consideration must be there. That consideration must be lawful. If she is asking 250 lakhs, how can it possible as a common person? It may be 25 lakhs or 20 lakhs is okay. I can able to escape from the harassment by giving 25 lakhs. It's a peaceful, right? But 250 lakhs is not possible for me. 2.5 crores. It's not at all in my hand. It's not lawful. And lawful consideration must be a reasonable consideration in between the parties. Again, it is determined by time to time. Okay, and both the parties must have a capability to perform the contract. Both the parties must have a capability. I have a capability to enter into a contract because I am not a mad person. If a mad person, if you are entering into a contract with a mad person, for example, if I am going to marry Sweta Lakshmi, she is a mad. If I am marrying her, it is not a contract because she is mad. Okay, it's not at all a contract. The next word is the agreement is not expressly declared as void, declared to void. It must be accepted. Actually, the agreement must be accepted by law and it must not be declared void. For example, when you are entering a contract with a minor, or when you are entering into a contract with an alien enemy, for example, you are in India, okay, you are making a contract with B, he is in abroad, okay, he is in abroad. So when you are entering a contract with him, at the time of the initial stage, there is a good relation between these two countries. But after some time, what happens, some terrorist attack or something, there will not be a good relation between these two countries, then automatically what happens, it become void. If you are entering into a contract with a alien enemy, is void contract. It is not accepted by law. Okay. Or if you are entering into a contract with a mad person, okay, it's a void contract. And if you are doing a contract for smuggling, it's a void, illegal, because law is it's saying that it is a void. And next thing, parties must freely consent to enter into a contract. Freely consent. There is no force. Actually, I am asking her to give divorce, but I am not forcing. It's a mutual thing. If you accept, then you give the divorce. Okay. Or for example, I want to sell my car. I am putting a gun on point block to Mr. B. Buy my car, otherwise I kill you. Then he accepted, but it is not a freely consent. It is a free consent. It is not a free consent, but the parties must freely consent to enter into a agreement. Okay. And legal formalities for entering into a contract must be completed. Legal formalities. So many contracts are oral contracts actually in business life, but some contracts are legal formalities. For example, if I want to work in a college as a faculty, then I need to enter into a contract with the college and I need to sign on the documents. I am going to work from this period to so and so period. If I want to leave from the college, I will give 3 months notice. Like that, so many legal formalities are there. I need to pay legal duties, stamp duties. Okay, you know that. Okay. And next point is 8th point, terms of agreements are capable of being certain. All the terms must be certain. If I am entering into a contract with a person and I will pay you 10 lakhs, you give me your heart. Okay, you give me your hand. That's not correct. It's actually there is no possibility. He cannot perform. Okay, bring the monkey and the monkey must speak. If the monkey speaks, I will give you money. Then these are terms of agreements are capable of being certainty. Okay, and it must be written and registered if required by law. Okay, it comes under legal formalities actually. And possibility to perform the agreement under section 56. Then we will discuss again section 56 later. The contract performance must be possible to everybody. If the person is not able to perform the contract, how can he enter into a contract? How he give an acceptance? Okay, without knowing this, he give an acceptance, means he is not given freely consent. Means he is not have capability to perform the contract, but he enter into an agreement. So one party is accepting that, another party is not able to perform it. It's not a contract, because only one party is available in the contract. Really, existence is only one party, and there is no legal relationship. So each and every point here interlinked. So almost all the points are important here. If one thing is missing in 9 points, if one is missing, then definitely it is not become a contract and it become void contract. Okay, I am going to the next slide. Hope you understand. The second thing is how to determine the intention of parties. So it is really a difficult task to identify the intentions of the parties when they come to court of law. when they come to court of law, in the presence of law, they have to prove they have intention to create a legal relationship. But sometimes they don't know, it's become unknown to them, the parties, but they enter into a contract and arguing to refund money or arguing for reset everything. But it is not possible sometimes. Please understand, when you are entering a contract, it must be intention to create legal relationship. There is no legal relationship. It is, if it is not accepted by law, then that become only agreement, but not at all a contract. What will happen if there is no intention to create legal relationship? Then it will not become a contract. It become only social agreement. So many agreements are happening in this world. For example, I am inviting my friend for my birthday dinner, but when he reached that my home, the food is not available. What he will do? He will go, he will meet me and he will take the cake and he will go and eat at his home. He cannot file a case against me. He cannot ask compensation for that, because it's a social agreement. I invited him for my birthday party and I already told him I am going to arrange food, but I am not arranging. He need to adjust it, because there is no legal relationship, there is no legal intentions here. If I am not able to provide you the food, then I will pay you this much. There is no such agreements in marriages or in birthday parties. For example, if you are going for a hotel and ordered food and the food is not delivered properly, then you can file it. You can go for a consumer forum. You can file a case against them, because that is a legal intention would be there. That is creating a legal relationship, because buyer and seller relationship would be there. Okay. What will happen if there is no intention to create legal relationship? So it become only domestic or social political agreements. For example, this is the election season. Everybody is saying so many things. For example, Rahul Gandhi is saying that we are going to give you 2000 rupees per month. Okay. Or 6,000 rupees, something he is offering 6,000 rupees, 72,000 rupees per annum, as if you are below the poverty line. So that is the political agreement. After winning the election, you don't have any right to ask them. Okay, you will not go for court of law, because it is only a political agreement. It's for election purpose. He said that there is no legal relationship, even though that is written in the manifesto. You cannot. Okay, and the law presumes that did not have any intention to create legal relationship, if it is a social agreement or domestic agreement or a political agreement. They given one case study, most important case study, even English law also everybody reading this case study, that is Balfour versus Balfour. So Balfour is a husband, Balfour is a wife. They are wife and husband. The husband going for a foreign tour agrees with his wife to pay her a monthly allowance. He is going to foreign tour and he said that, okay, I am leaving the country, then I am going for a business tour or any other tour. So I am going to give you every month some amount, 30 pounds or 40 pounds. He agreed. Afterwards, the husband refused to pay the monthly allowance. Okay, what will happen? Nothing will happen. The wife cannot claim the amount, monthly amount or monthly allowance from her husband, since the agreement is only domestic in nature. It's only domestic in nature, then there is no claim. She cannot go for claim because it is a domestic in nature. In case of commercial agreements, the law presumes that parties had intention to create a legal relationship. In case of commercial agreements, it's a domestic agreement. In case of commercial agreement, if they are not serving you properly, then you have a right to ask them refund. Any party can prove before the court that at the time of formation of the agreement, the parties had intention to create legal relationship. So here Balfour and Balfour versus Balfour, in this case, wife and husband, there is no legal relationship. They are not going for divorce actually. If they are going for divorce, there is a compensation actually in Indian law. But it is not like that. He is going for some time for a tour, then he refused to pay the amount because of so many reasons. So the reasons are not a matter here. The matter is only that is only in between the wife and husband. It is a social. If I want to buy a saree for my wife, I announced it in a meeting. Everybody is there in my family. Okay, I announced it. I'm going to give you a saree, good saree worth rupees 10,000. But after that I did not. Then she don't have any right to go for court because it is a social agreement. If that happens, actually every husband will be in soup. Okay. Now it is your duty. Think, discuss, give your answer now. Okay, I am reading the case. You have to give the answer. Father promised to pay his son a sum of 1 lakh if the son passed the BCom examination with flying colors, first class. The son passed the examination, miracle happened, the son passed the examination with first class. But the father failed to pay the amount as promised. Son files a suit for recovery of that amount. State along with the reasons whether the son can recover the amount under Indian Contract Act 1872. Can he recover that amount from his father? Is it possible? Definitely it is possible in India. Definitely the son will fight with the father and the mother is also going to support the son, and definitely the father need to pay 1 lakh rupees, otherwise Royal Enfield. That's it. That will happen in general life. But you know, as per Indian Contract Act, they are asking state along with the reasons whether the son can recover the amount under Indian Contract Act 1872. The answer is no. The contract between the father and son is just social domestic because there is no contract, it's only an agreement. No intention to create legal relation, as it is a domestic or a social agreement. Son cannot sue the father. Since there is no contract, there is not a contract. Hope you understand. Please remember, don't ask your father like this, and even if your father is offering like this, don't pass the examination with flying colors. Don't struggle for the exam. Okay. Now, distinction between an agreement and a contract. First you have to understand these distinctions, then you will easily able to identify what is a contract, what is an agreement. We are starting with meaning. Agreement is offer, acceptance, it is social till now, okay, or domestic. When it is added by the enforceability by law, then it become a contract. Okay, right. Creation of legal obligations. See, in this agreement, it is a social right. There is no legal relationship in between the parties. There are no legal obligations in an agreement. When come to contract, it must create legal obligations, relationships, and everything would be there as per law. You can able to get the refunds. One in other. Wider than contract, every agreement is not a contract. See, the agreement is wider, it's huge, but all the agreements are not contracts, right? Only which are enforceable by law will become a contract, right? That is the reason it is a wider than contract. Every agreement is not a contract, whereas every contract is an agreement. Every contract is an agreement, but all agreements are not contract. So if it is a contract, definitely it must be an agreement. If you are doing intermediate second year, means already you completed your intermediate first year. That's it. But if you are doing intermediate first year, you will not get an intermediate certificate, because after completion of intermediate only you will get the certificate. In the same manner, the first stage is agreement, second stage is a contract. If it is a contract, means it's already an agreement, right? Essentials. may or may not satisfy all the essentials of the contract, because those are the essential elements. 9 points we discussed in the previous slide. Those are the essential elements of the contract, but not for the agreement. So may or may not satisfy all the essential elements of the contract. When come to the contract, it must satisfy all essential elements. 10, 29, 56. If you want to remember this, October 29, 1956. October 29, 1956. Under section 10 are those points which are, we discussed 9 points, those are under section 10, and section 29 and section 56, we already discussed section 56 with the 9th point. I'll tell you about section 50 to section 29 and 56. So contract always satisfies all the essentials under section 10, 29 and 56. If it is not satisfying any point under this section, it is not at all a contract, and it only an agreement. Okay. Enforceability. It's definitely an agreement, may or may not enforceable by law. If it is enforceable by law, definitely it can be under contract. But contract can be enforceable by law. Definitely it can be enforceable by law. It's not always enforceable by law, but it can be enforceable by law. Even it is not enforceable by law, it is an agreement, definitely. Rights. Not always grant rights to the parties. But your mom is there, definitely your mom will help you to get your rights like bike or 1 lakh rupees from your father. But just general social thing, but not always grants rights to the parties. Whereas here contract always grant rights to the parties. Each and every party is protected by law. Okay, hope you understand these differences. Then you can go for the previous slide also if you want and again read it. Okay, I'm going to the next slide. Now we are going to little bit in depth. Agreements to do an impossible acts. So now you are making an agreement to do an impossible act. Not this is legal act, activity. Agreement to do an impossible act. Definitely it must be void agreement, because it is impossible act. You cannot able to perform the contract. Definitely it is a void agreement. There is no proper completion of the agreement. Offer is there, acceptance may not be there or may be there, but it cannot be performed at all. So void agreement. Agreement to do an act which subsequently become impossible. So void contract. No, they enter into a contract, but in subsequently it become impossible. First, at the time of entering into the contract, okay, it is possible, but after entering into the contract, it may not be possible. It become void contract, not void agreement, because subsequently it become impossible. Before it was pure agreement and possible. It is possible. Okay, so it is void contract. Agreement to down act known to be impossible or unlawful. Examples are given here. One person promises to do a particular act. At the time of making such promise, he knows that such act is impossible or unlawful. Okay, someone is giving me smuggled gold to buy it, but I know at the time of entering into a contract, buying a smuggled good is illegal or unlawful, and it is not possible under Indian laws. But I enter into a contract, it's a unlawful. It is not a contract, it is unlawful. One person to whom such promise is made did not know that such an impossible or unlawful. One person to whom the promise is made do not know. A is selling the smuggled goods, but B don't know. It is also unlawful. Definitely it is also unlawful. Next, the promisor must make a compensation for any loss which the promisee has sustained due to the non-performance of the promise. Definitely, na? Now I am going to give you the situations here for better understanding of the previous topic. Okay, A agrees with B to discover treasure by magic. So magic, that's wide agreement. It stopped at agreement only. Now A and B contract to marry each other. That's a fantastic, fabulous, बहुत अच्छा contract है वो. Okay, A and B contract to marry each other, okay, before the time of before the time fixed for marriage. What happens, some, what we call, it's a twist. Before the time fixed for the marriage, A become mad. A become mad. So at the time of entering into a contract agreement, it is okay. But subsequently, what happened? A become mad. Lucky person. A become mad, and B she cannot marry actually. But after marriage also he become mad. But the contract become here void. Now I am calling it as a contract has become void. Okay. Now A contracts to marry B, being already married to C. Wow. Then without getting the divorce, it is not possible. A contracts to marry B, being already married to C, and being forbidden by the law to which he is subject to practice polygamy. If a person marrying one or more is called as polygamy. Okay. Polygamy. Okay, sorry. The agreement is void. The agreement is void because A must make compensation to B for the loss caused by her non-performance his promise. Yes. A contracts to take in a cargo for B at an American airport. A's government afterwards declared war against America. The contract become void. Subsequently it become void. Subsequently, that is the reason the word subsequently, right? At the time of entering into a contract with A and B and delivery at American airport, okay, but A's government afterwards declared war against America. What happened? Subsequently it become void. There is a agreement, it become a contract actually, but subsequently it become contract become void. Okay. A contracts to act at a theater for 6 months, okay, in consideration of sum of paid in advance by B, okay, and several occasions A is too ill to act. What happened? It's again, it become what? Very good. It become what? It become void because he unable to perform, right? Then it become void. The contract to act on such occasions on which A is unable to act or perform because he is ill become void. Okay. I am going to give you a small examples for better understanding. I am giving worst situation. A agrees to sell B 100 tons of oil. 100 tons. Actually oil in liters, right? Okay. But I am mentioning here tons. So it is an agreement is void for uncertainty since the description of oil not specified properly. Okay. The oil description must be in liters, barrels. Okay. They mention in tons. So definitely it is agreement become void and for reason of the uncertainty. So here agreements void for uncertainty, that is section 29. So I already told you 10, 29, 56. Now we are covering 29, October 29, 1956. Okay. Now a agreement to sell B 100 tons of sunflower oil at the rate of 15 per liter. Okay. 100 tons, no problem at all. Liters they mentioned at the rate of 15 liters. Tons is there, but at the time of giving, they will definitely convert into liters and 15 per liter. Okay. So there is no uncertainty. It is 100% certain contract. Okay. Hence the agreement is not void. Because an agreement is not void, an agreement is void if the meaning of such agreement is not certain. Okay, the agreement is void if the meaning of such agreement is not certain. If the agreement is not certain, because you know, in this case, liters, instead of mentioning liters, they mention tons, but the price is also not there, so definitely it is not certain, so not capable of being made certain, so the agreement become void. So in this case, they clearly mention oil price per liter, so it is purely certain, there is no uncertainty, so it is not a void, it is a valid contract. Okay, next point, A agrees to sell to B all grain in his granary at Lakshmi Nagar at the rate of 15 per kg. See, A agrees to B, how many quintals, how many kgs, how many tons, nothing is mentioned, but the price per kg they mention. They are valuing in kgs and converting into value of rupees, 15 rupees. So there is no uncertainty, it is possible to determine the quantity of grain. Okay, it is possible, right? They can convert into kgs, right? Next, it is valid contract, not void. A agrees to sell B 1000 kgs of rice at a price to be fixed by C. Who is C? We don't know. Whatever it may be, C is going to fix the price. It is accepted by B and it is also accepted by A. Not a problem. He is a mediator maybe. Then it's also a valid contract. There is no uncertainty. Okay, because C will talk na. C will tell you what is the price. Right? There is no uncertainty. Not a void contract, because as the price is capable of being made certain, there is no uncertainty. Next, last point. A agrees to sell B his white horse for 500 rupees or 1000 rupees. See, what is this nonsense? 500 rupees or 1000 rupees. He may sell white horse or black horse. He is not specifying anything properly. So the price is not determined, compensation is not determined, consideration properly mentioned, and they mention the horse. So it is not at all a valid contract. It definitely an agreement is void. Okay, so because you understand this, agreements void for uncertainty. If there is uncertainty, then as per section 29, it is void. It's not a valid contract. Now the next important topic is classification of contracts, section 2 and section 9. The contracts are classified into some categories based on the performance, based on the preparation. They classified the contracts. So this is most important. Again, it may be a choice of getting 10 marks question or 5 marks question on this topic if you have a business law topic or business law or contract act in your subject. This is most important thing. Classification of the contract, section 2 and section 9. So contracts are classified on the basis of creation, how they are creating. So if you are making a contract orally, spoken or written, it's express contract. Expressed, you expressed something spoken or something written on the paper, so it's expressed contract. Some of the contracts are implied contract. You are not speaking or you are not writing anything, but it is a contract, implied contract. Okay, means a contract inferred by the conduct of the person or the circumstances of the case, right? The circumstances of the case or conduct of the person, then enter into a contract. So many are there here. I will going to give you a lot of examples in the future classes, but now I will give you simple examples. Mr. A takes a seat in the bus, even though he is not taking a seat actually. When he entered into the bus, it indicating that he will pay fare. If he is having a bus pass, no need to pay, but bus pass is also a fare na. Okay, A takes a seat in the bus or he entered into the bus, indicating that he will pay fare. Whatever the charge would be there, as per that particular charge, he need to buy a ticket. That is, he is not expressing It is act of the or circumstance of the case. It is a conduct of the person. Okay. Next. A sent a parcel fruit to B, but parcel is misdelivered to C. Hence, C must pay price for the fruit, because C is sending a parcel to B, but it is indirectly it's wrongly misdelivered to C. C took the fruits and he consumed the fruits. What will happen? There is no fruit for the B now. C need to pay money to A or B. It is depends upon the circumstances, but he need to pay the money, because how, even though he is C, how he will get the fruits for free? Okay. Next. Right. The next important classification is the classification of the contracts on the basis of execution. Okay. Execution, performance of the contract. Now we learned preparation of the contract. Now we are learning contracts on the basis of execution. On the basis of execution, one point is executed contract. Executed means fulfilled contract. Both the parties in the contract are fulfilled their obligations under the contract. Whatever they are agreed, that is fulfilled by party A and party B. Everything is completed. That is executed contract. Executed, past tense. Executory contract. Second one is executory contract. This is very simple. A contract in which both the parties have still to fulfill. Both the parties are still to fulfill their obligations under Contract Act. Both the parties are. Okay. No one is started it. They agreed. They enter into a contract. A need to perform and B need to perform. A need to take the money, B need to pay the money. Like that. Okay. It is executory. So continuous. It's not yet started. It will start in future. It will complete in future. So executory contract. Simple. Partly executed contract, or we can say partly executory contract also, the same meaning. One party completed, one party fulfilled the obligations are related to the contract and other yet to perform. It's a future. So half is future, half is completed. Okay. So it is partly executed contract or partly executory contract. Again, next slide. Classification of the contracts as per the section 2 and 9 on the basis of enforceability. Okay, enforceability. If it is enforceable by law, it is a valid contract. Valid contract and agreement. It satisfies all the essentials under the Contract Act, that is section 10, 29 and 56. Okay. If it is satisfies all the terms and conditions which are mentioned under section 10 or 29 and 56 of Indian Contract Act, it is a valid contract. Next is void contract. A contract which ceases to be enforceable by law becomes void. The law is ceasing. The law is ceasing. The enforceability. It is not enforceable by law, then it becomes void contract, but it was a agreement. Okay. There is no valid agreement like. Okay. Next. Void agreement. An agreement not enforceable by law is said to be void. See, at the time of entering into contract, entering into the agreement, the law is accepted, but later it ceased, though it become void. And again, the same manner, the contract, the agreement at the time of entering only, it is not enforceable by law. We know that even though we enter into a contract, that is not at all, even though we enter into an agreement, that is not at all valid. It will become void again. Next, voidable contract. If it is enforceable by law at option of one party is willing to perform it, and it is not enforceable by law at the option of other party, it is a voidable contract. In the same manner, I give an example. Now, Mr. Y is going to give the divorce to Miss E, Mrs. S, but S is not accepting. She is demanding 250 lakhs. What happens? It's a voidable. It's a voidable. It is enforceable by law by this party, but it is not enforceable by this party. Okay. Illegal agreement, an agreement that object which is unlawful. So law, again, we have to read the civil law, everything. We have to know that if you are entering into a contract for smuggling the goods, if you are entering into a contract which is not acceptable by law, definitely it is illegal agreement. Okay. Now I'm stopping this class now. This is 1 hour. Now I'm going to add one more class after this, that is offer acceptances, second chapter under Contract Act. Hope you understand. Please subscribe to my channel, understand each and every concept very clearly. I'm always happy to help you. Please subscribe to my channel. Okay. And if you want to do CFA, CA, CPA, any course online, I'm going to provide you virtual online classes, live online classes. I'm not selling the videos, just I'm doing these videos for free of cost to show my interest on teaching. So please understand, if you want to do CFA, CPA, CA, meet me online. I will definitely help you. You can see my website www.eileiCPAreview.com, or you can also mail me at dr.yugendhar@gmail.com. Happy to help you. Thank you so much. Thanks for your patience.